ॐ वक्रतुण्डमहाकाय सूर्यकोटिसमप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणी विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। साक्षात्कृतं दयानन्दं परमार्थस्वरूपिणं तत्त्वज्ञानप्रशास्तारं प्रणतोऽस्मि परं पदम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो भगवते वैवस्वताय ऋत्यवे ब्रह्मविद्याचार्याय नचिकेतसे च द्वितीय अध्याय द्वितीयावल्ली सिक्स्थ मंत्र कैन रिपीट। हन्तत इदं प्रवक्ष्यामि
हन्तत इदं प्रवक्ष्यामि
गुह्यं ब्रह्म सनातनम्
गुह्यं ब्रह्म सनातनम्
यथा च मरणं प्राप्य आत्मा भवति गौतम।
आत्मा भवति गौतम।
योनिमन्ये प्रपद्यन्ते
योनिमन्ये प्रपद्यन्ते
शरीरत्वाय देहिनः
शरीरत्वाय देहिनः
स्थाणुमन्येऽनुसंयन्ति
स्थाणुमन्येऽनुसंयन्ति
यथा कर्म यथा श्रुतम्।
यथा कर्म यथा श्रुतम्।
In the sixth mantra, Mother Maharaja said, "Hey Gautama, idam gugyam sanatanam brahma te aham pravakshyami. Yata maranam prapya atma Atma bhavati. Maranam prapya Atma bhavati. Yatha, yes, what happens to Atma? Atmanaha kim bhavati maranam prapya iti Atma tattvam aham prakshyami. I shall teach you the Guhyam Sanatanam Brahma, teach you the secret, teach you the Brahma Tattvam, which is Guhyam, secret, and it is Sanatanam. That is what you ask. Yeyam prete chikitsa manushe asti iti eke ayam asti iti chaike. That is what you ask. That I will teach you. The same question he asked another way also. Anyatra dharmat, anyatra adharmat iti. So, Madam Raja says, Agam pravakshami shrino. Then the next mantra is, he says, what happens to the Atma? Yoni manye prapadyante sharirattvaya deginaha stanumanye sayanti yata karma yata shrutam. Anye, that is jivas. Anye jivaha, some jivas. Yonim prapadyante, they enter the womb. For what? Sharirattvaya deginaha. Sharirattvaya deginaha. Anye deginaha. Other jivas, they enter the womb for gaining the sharira, the body. Other jivas, stanum anusanyanti, they take the form of the stanu, stavara, etc. Vrakshadi stavara bhavam prapnavanti. Yatha karma yatha shrutam, in keeping with the karma or in keeping with their samskara, the vasanas, in keeping with the yatha karma yatha shrutam. Shrutam is upasana, otherwise it is the thought. Whatever the thought they predominantly entertain during their jivanam, their life, in keeping with that, the next janma they will take, next birth they will take, in whichever yoni it is. So, what happens to Jivatma? Jivatma of Jnani or Ajnani? Jnani, for Jnani there is no janma. Because Vimuktasya Vimuchyate iti visa. He becomes Jivan Muktaha. And after the fall of the Shariram, Videha Muktaha. So there is no Punarjanma for Jnani. So therefore this mantra talks about only Ajnani. Ajnaninaha kim bhavati. What happens to them after Maranam? Maranam prapya Atma bhavati, yata bhavati, tat shruno iti. This shloka, this being the Upanishad. So this Upanishad being the Pramana. So this shloka is a Pramana. Pramanam for Punarjanma. Shastra is the Pramanam for Punarjanma. Otherwise Punarjanma, the rebirth, how do you know? Even though we can know, we can infer from certain incidents of a person's life that the person remembers, vividly recollects the past life, the memories, but that happens very rarely, not for everyone. So that cannot be taken as a pramanam. Therefore, Shastram is a pramanam for Punarjanma. So this mantra clearly says that the Ajnani takes Punarjanma, in whichever yoni it is. For Punarjanma, for Papam, for Punyam, Shastram alone is the pramanam. So, Punarjanma bhavati. Punarjanma, papam, punyam, all these are apaurushaya vishaya. For apaurushaya vishaya, Shastram is the pramanam. So therefore, this mantra is it's important mantra in the sense that it is the pramanam for Punarjanma. And the Punarjanma, the next birth, depends on what it is in keeping with the karma phala. It is in keeping with the karma and the karma, and that has to be exhausted by taking appropriate janma in the appropriate womb. So sukha dukkha anubhava, that karma phala anubhava, through the karma phala anubhava, all the karma phalam are experienced. So sukha dukkha anubhava dwara karma phalam kshiyate. So it takes a body, it takes a janma by assuming a body, yastura sharira. Either here itself, in this bhumi itself, it takes janma, or if it has done some punyam, it goes to Swargaloka. Again, Shastra is a pramanam. Swargaloka, remaining there, enjoying the Swargaloka sukham for a certain period of time. Again, it comes back and takes janma again and gaining karma again. So this is the status of the Ajnani. Bhashyakara said, how the jiva takes janma. Bhashyakara says, jiva moves from one womb to other womb, moving from janma to janma. That is, the jiva gets stuck in this samsara chakra. Shukra bija samanvitaha santaha anye kechit avidyavantaha moodaha prapadyante shariradvaya sharira daghanartam deginaha devantaha iti. So moodaha, why they are moodaha? Because they are stuck in this cycle of samsara and being endowed with the free will. Moksha is possible only with the human body, Manushya Shariram, because he is endowed with the free will. So he can choose to know. He has the free will to choose to know. So therefore he only has a possibility to be free from this samsara chakra. And this jiva, yoni dwaram shukra bija samanvitaha santaha, that is a cause for the janma. The causes for necessary for conceiving, that is the yoni dwaram shukra bija samanvitaha, the egg and the seed, they meet at the yoni dwara, the gates of the yoni, and the gates of the yoni, and they take, and it is born. Anye kechit, other jivas who are subject to ignorance, they take stabara janma. Both are avidyavantaha moodaha only. It's all in keeping with their karma. So other jiva sthanabhavam prapnuvanti. If it's a form of life, sthanabhavam, plants, etc., which remains at the same place. It's called ajagara vritti. Ajagara is paitan. It doesn't move. It grows in the same place. So like the ajagara, like the trees, etc., it doesn't have choice. It doesn't have free will. So they are the lowest in the ladder of the jivas. They are the lowest. So they take those forms. they take those forms. So maranam prapya anusayanti anugachanti. So this jiva, after death, they assume such forms. So in keeping with the law of karma, yatha karma yatha shrutam, in keeping with the law of karma. The law of karma is also the manifestation of Ishvara alone. So in keeping with that karma, yatha karma anatikramya, not transgressing, in keeping with, in accordance with the karma. So what type of karma? That is karma done by the person, in the janma. That is, this karma is very complicated, complex. So predominantly the karma done in the previous life that decides the next janma. And also the attitude behind the karma. The attitude behind the life. What attitude, what thought it predominantly entertained, that decides. Shraddhaya deyam, ashraddhaya adeyam, attitude. Shraddhaya deyam, give with shraddha, dhanam. Dhanam is give with the shraddha. Don't give if you don't have shraddha. So the bhavana is important. Even in the act of giving the charity, the bhavana is important. The attitude determines the result of this dhanam. The dhanam is also a karma. Whether you gain punya or papa, what determines the attitude. That's why Upanishad says, Shraddhaya deyam. When you give, you have to know to whom you are giving. You should give it to the person who is qualified, who deserves. Apatrebhyaha na deyam. So the bhavana is important in the act of charity, the giving. For good cause, one must give. And therefore one gains punya. So the bhavana in the action is important. That determines the phalam. So the attitude behind the karma makes the karma very, very powerful to give punyam. And yatashrutam, what is heard and what is understood, and what is predominantly in the mind, that becomes a factor for deciding the next janma. Next janma, the person takes, depending on the karma, in a spiritually prosperous family. Yadrisham cha vijnanam uparjitam tadrupam shariram prapadyante. The Bhashyakara said we saw that. And Bhashyakara also, he quoted from the another Shruti, Aitreya Aranyakam. Yatha prajnaha hi sambhavaha iti shrutyantara. Yatha pragyam hi sambhavaha. That is, in keeping with the prajna. Prajna is the manas, the mind. In keeping with the thought of the mind. Keeping with the thought pattern. The thought pattern of the mind, they take janma iti. Okay. So this is the saw. Now the next mantra. The next mantra starts by which the Bhashyakara gives a sangati. We will read that. Yat pratignatam
Yat pratignatam
Pratignatam
gubhyam brahma prakshyami iti.
guhyam
Guhyam
brahma
Brahma
vakshyami
Vakshyami
iti
iti
Tad aha.
tat aha.
Tataha.
So in the previous mantra, Yamadharmaraja talked about the avastha of the jnani, ajnani after Marana. Now, in this mantra, what is the real nature of the Atma? The Chit Swarupa, Sat Chit Sat Rupa Atmanaha nature. What is its nature? That is being talked about. Atma is Sakshi. Atma is Sakshi. Atma is there in all the three avasthas. In all the three, Atma, in the presence of Atma only, as a, all the other avasthas are possible, all the avasthas are recognized, all the avasthas are not there, not for Atma, but Atma continues to be in all the avastha traya. And the Swapna avastha is important. So, through Swapna avastha, Atma as a Sakshi is presented in this mantra. So, Yata Pratigyatam Gugyam Brahma Pradakshyami iti tat aha. He took a pratigya. A promise in the sixth mantra. Aham te idam Gugyam Brahma Brahma Sanatanam Pradakshyami iti pratigya. Yat pratigya tam Gugyam. You have to separate. Pratigyatam means pratigya is one word, tam is another word. Yat pratigyatam. Sorry, it is one word. Yat pratigyatam is one word. Yat pratigyatam is ta pratyaya. Yat pratigyatam, the pratigyatam is one word. Yat pratigyatam, what? That is Gugyam Brahma, aham pradakshyami. Iti tat aha. So what promised by Yamadharmaraja? What is that? That Gugyam Brahma pradakshyami iti. It is within quote. Yat pratigyatam Gugyam Brahma pradakshyami should be within quote. I will talk about this Brahma, which is Gugya, which is secret. That Brahma, that was the pratigya of Yamadharmaraja. So iti tat aha, that is talked about in the following mantra. So Gugyam Brahma Pradakshyami, it is within quote. And yet pratigyatam, that which has been promised by saying Gugyam Brahma Pradakshyami, tat aha, that is talked about. By whom? By Yamadharmaraja. We will read the mantra. Ya esha supteshu jagarti
य एष सुप्तेषु जागर्ति
जागर्ति
kamam purusho nirvimanaha
कामं
कामं पुरुषो
निर्विमानः
निर्विमाणः
tadeva shukram tadbrahma
तदेव शुक्रं
देव शुक्रं
तद्ब्रह्म
तद्ब्रह्म
tadeva mritamuchyate
तदेवामृतमुच्यते
देवामृतमुच्यते
tasmin lokashrita sarve
तस्मिन्
लोकाश्रिताः
लोकाश्रिताः सर्वे
सर्वे
dunatyeti kaschana
तदुनाद्येति
नास्त्येति
कश्चन
कश्चन
etadvaitat.
एतद्वैतत्
एतद्
So now the topic, Brahma topic, is being presented by Yamadharmaraja. This mantra is a Mahavakya Upadesha mantra. Mahavakyam is there, therefore Mahavakya Upadesha mantra. Atma is Sakshi. Atma is Sakshi, means witness. Witness means what? It doesn't involve in the action, but in the presence of which action or any other thing happens. the presence of Atma, everything happens. So as a witness, Atma, as a Sakshi Chaitanyam, Atma, it is present in all the three states of experience. So Atma is the Adhishtanam, Brahma is the Adhishtanam, and all these states are there for all the states of experience to for the jiva, it happens as Brahma as the Adhishtanam, and therefore it is this Atma is a Sakshi. So Yaha Yeshaha Purushaha Jagrati Sutteshu. Jagrati remains awake. Jagr Dhatu, second Gana, Jagrati, awake. Yaha Purushaha, Yeshaha Purushaha, Yeshaha referring to the Atma. Yaha Yeshaha Atma Jagrati. This Atma is awake when Sutteshu. Sutteshu. This Atma is awake. Sutteshu. Sutteshu means you have to supply. Karaneshu Sutteshu. Karaneshu Sutteshu api. When the Karanas, that is the instruments, because without instrument there is no recognition of the experience. Therefore, Sutteshu. Karaneshu Sutteshu Yaha Yeshaha Purushaha Jagrati. The Karanas are sleeping. Karanas are put to sleep, but this Atma doesn't go to sleep. Even in sleep, this Atma doesn't go to sleep. Atma is all the time it is awake only. In Jagrata Avastha it is as it is in Jagrata Avastha, so it is in Sushupti Avastha and Swapna Avastha also. In Jagrat Avastha, all the Indriyas, Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani, they are active. In the Sushupti Avastha, in the deep sleep state, Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani, they are not active, they are put to sleep. In the Swapna Avastha also, Karmendriya, Jnanendriya do not function. But what functions in the Swapna Avastha is the mind. The mind is active in Jagrata Avastha and Swapna Avastha. In the Sushupti Avastha, mind also is not there. Is there but not active. So here it talks about the Sutteshu. That is when other karanas, when the Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani are Suptani, in that Avastha, Atma is awake. Atma remains awake. So Atma is awake. Sutteshu, Anyeshu, Karaneshu, Sutteshu, Satsu, Atma, Yaha, Yeshaha Atma, Jagrati api. You have to supply api. Even when the Karanas are asleep, this Atma is awake. Atma is alupta druk. It never winks. Unwinking, it is awake. That is why Sakshi. Atma is always alupta druk. Never it loses the status of seeing. So all the senses resolve in Sushupti Avastha, but Atma is awake. Therefore, Purushaha, Yeshaha Purushaha, Kamam Nirbhimanaha. Nirbhimanaha means projecting this. Nirbhimanaha Purushaha. It is Kridanta. Nirbhimanaha Purushaha Nirbhimanaha. This Atma which is projecting. What? Kamam. Kamam means the various objects of desire. various objects of desire, this Purushaha is Nirmimanaha. When all the Indriyas are resolved, that time this Purushaha Kamam Nirmimanaha. This Purusha projects various objects of desire. Kamyate iti Kama, object of desire. Kamaha. Kamyate iti Kamaha, all the objects of desire it projects. So, when all the organs are Suttani, Indriyani, Karmendriyani, Suttani, this Purushaha, this Atma, projects various objects of desire. It means what state is, it is Swapnavastha. So even though Supteshu it is there, we have to take that Supta to be Swapna. Swapnavastha only, this projection is possible, the projection of the mind in the form of the dream. So therefore it is Swapnavastha. So Supteshu is equal to Swapnavastha. So Yeshaha Purushaha Swapnavasthayam Kamam. That is the Vishaya. Kamam Sva Vishayan Nirvimanaha Jagrati. Or this sentence, this Vakya, Purushaha Supteshu Jagrati. That is one part. Purushaha Supteshu Jagrati. Taking the meaning of Supteshu as it is. This Purusha, this Atma, Supteshu Jagrati. Supteshu is when other, that is Indriyani, Karmendriyani, Jnanendriyani, the mind, when they are asleep, this Purushaha Jagrati, that is one part. Then Kamam Nirmimanaha means Swapnavasthayam, we have to supply. Swapnavasthayam, Kamam, that is the Vishaya, Kamam Nirmimanaha Purushaha Jagrati. So Atma is Jagrati. This Purushaha Atma Jagrati in Sushupti Avastha. Others are asleep, but Atma remains awake. And in Swapnavastha also, Swapnavastha, it projects various objects of desire, but Atma is awake. So this Purushaha Atma Swapnavasthaya Jagrati. Therefore only through the mind is active, it projects the Swapna Prapancha. How the mind projects? Because mind is awake. The mind is awake, therefore it projects. In the presence of Atma, the mind projects the dream world. So therefore Atma is said to be the projector of the dream world. Atma doesn't project, it is the mind which projects by the mind which projects the Swapna Prapancha. In the presence of Atma, Sanidhya Matrena, this Kamam Nirvimanaha, Swapna Prapancham Nirvimanaha. Atma doesn't create. The presence of Atma itself is enough. Therefore, Nirvimanaha. This Atma alone is Taijasa. This Atma alone is Taijasa in the Swapnavastha, and therefore the dream is projected. In the Jagrata Avastha, it is Vishwaha. In the Sushupti Avastha, it is Prajnaha. And in the Swapnavastha, it is Taijasa. This Vishwaha, Taijasaha, Prajnaha is Atma. But Atma is not any of them. Therefore, there is a mistake committed. This Taijasa, this Atma is wrongly taken to be Taijasa. Atma is wrongly taken to be Taijasa. Therefore, only there is a Abhimana. Abhimana after you wake up from the Swapna. I dreamed. That Abhimana, the dream belongs to whom? I dreamt, you say. That is taking yourself to be the experience of the dream world. Taking the experience, taking yourself to be the experiencer. How Atma can be the experiencer? So, taking the Atma to be Taijasa and therefore considering oneself to be the experiencer. In the presence of Atma only, all the experiences, all the anubhavas are possible. But the experiences are superimposed on the Sakshi Atma, that is Viveka. So, therefore, Nirvimanaha, therefore, that Atma, the Atma which is obtained, which is in this all the three states of experience as the Sakshi, Tat Atma, that Atma alone, Tat Eva Atma, Shukram. Shukra means white. The literal meaning of the word Shukra means white. White means it is pure. It means it is not contaminated. It is not contaminated by any states of experience. All the states, in all the states, it is there and it continues to be in the absence of all the states also. So therefore, it is ever Shukram, it is Shuddha Chaitanya. Tat Brahma, that Atma is Brahma. This is the Mahavakyam. Talking about the Yashti Purusha and equating that to Tat Brahma, Tat Eva Amritam, that Tat referring to Tat Brahma, Tat referring to Atma, that Atma is Brahma, therefore Mahavakyam. This Atma, in the presence of which the dreamer, the mind, the projector, the dream, various objects of desire are projected. That Atma which is presented as a Sakshi, Atma which is present as a Sakshi, that Atma, Brahma, and it is Amritam, therefore Mahavakya. Why Swapnavastha is presented? That's the reason. We'll talk about the reason. Then the next line, Tasmin Lokaha Shitaha Sarve Tat Una Atyeti Kaschana Etat Vaitat Tat Eva Amritam Uchyate Tasmin Sarve Lokaha Shitaha Tasmin, on that Sarve Lokaha, all the lokas are Shitaha, means have Adhishtanam on this Atma. All the lokas are have Adhishtanam, have Ashraya on this Atma. Atma doesn't have Ashraya on anything because it is Sakshi, doesn't depend on any states of experience. All the states of experience, all the Prapancha, Jagrat Prapancha, Sapna Prapancha, all the Prapancha, they gain existence, they exist because of this Atma. Therefore, Tasmin Atmani Brahmani Sarve Lokaha Shritaha iti. Sarve Lokaha Shritaha Kaschana Tat U na Atyeti. Kaschana Tat U na Atyeti. There is nothing excelling this Atma. There is nothing other than this Atma. There is nothing which excels, which exceeds this Atma. Atma is alone. Atma alone is. So this is what? Etat Vaitat. This is what that Atma, the Brahma, Nachiketa, you asked. Iti, the meaning of this, the mantra. Now, here, two avasthas, that is Sushupti avastha and Swapna avastha, talked about. Here the Swapna avastha, the Atma which is recognized, which is presented as Sakshi, that Swapna avastha it is taken. Why Swapna avastha is taken? Swapna avastha is important. Atma is Sakshi, as it is witnessed in all the avastha, not only in Swapna avastha, but the emphasis here, it is on Swapna avastha. Why it is emphasis on Swapna avastha? All the avastha being illumined by this Sakshi Chaitanyam, in the presence of Sakshi Chaitanyam, Sanidhya Matrena, all the Indriyas, Karmendriya, Jnanendriya, this mind, everything is active functions. The Indriyas are backed up by the mind, and the mind also is illumined by the Sakshi Chaitanya. Mind also is an object. But it is not recognized as an object. The Jagrata Avastha, the mind is in the Jagrata Avastha, as we recognize the Indriya to be the Karanas, the instruments, similarly, we don't recognize the mind also as a Karana because there is a strong Abhimanam with the mind. The status of the mind is taken to be the status of the Atma. Atma being a Sakshi, but the mind being a Karanam, the condition of the mind is taken to be the condition of the Atma in Jagrata Avastha. The mind loses its object status in the Jagrata Avastha because of our Abhimana. And not only that, it loses the status of being a Karana. That is why whatever the thought or the feeling, the emotion in the mind, that it is taken to be the emotion of oneself. If the mind is disturbed, then I am disturbed. The mind is angry, I am angry. The mind is pleased, I am pleased. Mind is happy, I am happy. So the mind being an object, that objective status is lost, and also it is not recognized as an instrument. It is an instrument. It is a karanam. Mind is a karanam, but it loses the status of being a karanam because of our abhimana. So in the Jagrata Avastha, it's difficult to give the objective status or the instrumental status to the mind, because the mind is included in me as the experiencer of an experience of experiences. That is why you say agam karta bhokta agam pramata. Even the knower, what knows? Atma knows? No, the mind only knows. The mind only is projected outside and takes the shape of the object, and Sakshi Chaitanyam illumines the object and the object is recognized. But what do we say? I, the knower, Atma taken to be the Pramata. So in the mind is with the mind there is Abhimanam, therefore Atma is taken to be the Pramata. So the mind as a Karana, we don't recognize. Therefore it loses that status of being a Karana, and also it is not recognized as an object. It's also an object. When you appreciate the mind as an object, then you become a Sakshi. But when you include the mind also in you, then I become the Pramata, Atma become the Pramata. But really Atma is Sakshi, mind is an object. Sakshi Chaitanyam is different from the mind. How we know? The very definition of Atma. Stula Sukshma Karana Sharirat Vyatiriktah Tattvavada Visa. Sukshma Shariram, which has got Saptadasha Kala Vigisaha Yatuttishtati Tatu Sukshma Shariram. Therefore, Sukshma Shariram is not Atma. Is Vyatiriktah, Sharira Trayat Vyatiriktah Atma. But the mind, when it recognizes, senses the object, then it is this, then it's the Atma, this Atma, the Sakshi Chaitanya becomes Pramata, as though Pramata. It doesn't become Pramata as though Pramata. It is the Pramatritvam is superimposed on the Atma. So the mind becomes a part of me. When I become, when I know, when I know a thing, an object, Atma doesn't know, the mind, in the process of knowing, this mind becomes a part of me. When I am the witness, I don't recognize myself as a witness, as Atma, as Sakshi. The knowership of the mind is imposed on the Sakshi Chaitanyam, and I take myself to be a Pramata. So, therefore, Atma continues to be a Sakshi alone, but it becomes Pramata as though reducing the or failing to understand the objective status of the mind. And also, it is not understood to be the instrument. That also, it is overshadowed. So therefore, the Jagrata Avastha cannot be taken for analyzing or understanding the Sakshi, Atma as a Sakshi. In Sushupti Avastha, that is not possible because mind is also put to sleep. Mind also goes to sleep. Indriyas also do not function. When mind is not there, how can Indriyas function? They also don't function. Therefore, these two avasthas, these two avasthas cannot be taken to present the Atma as the Sakshi. The most appropriate avastha is, the best avastha is Swapna avastha. It is more ideal because the mind there in the Swapna avastha, the mind doesn't play the role of a Karana. The mind doesn't play the role of the Karana. The mind is also reduced to the state of being an object. All the objects, what you see in the Swapna Prapancha, they are created by you. They are nothing but thoughts. They are nothing but thought, and you as a Sakshi witness the Swapna. So, there the mind, it is not, it doesn't serve as a Karana. Because there is no world which you need to objectify. There is no world which you need to objectify because the world is projected by the mind. The world itself projected by the mind, and therefore mind also become an object. When mind itself become an object, then what objectifies the mind? That is the Atma. So the mind being an object and also doesn't enjoy the Karana status. Therefore, Atma as a Sakshi. Atma as a Sakshi is recognized in the Swapna Avastha. So therefore Swapna Avastha. Therefore, Swapna Avastha is the best Avastha, best ideal Avastha. When the mind is the Karanam and when the mind gains the status of being an object, that and the object status and the object status of the mind also, it is overpowered by the instrumental status. That is why Atma is considered to be a pramata in Jagrata Avastha. In Swapna Avastha, the mind is only an object. The mind itself has become so many objects, projecting various objects. It becomes the object, and Atma is present as a Sakshi of the objects created by the mind, and mind also is an object. The mind being an object, it creates object. It creates object in the Swapna. And for Atma, mind is an object, and the Swapna Prapancha also is an object. So the mind continues to continuously enjoy the objective status in the Swapna Avastha. In Jagrata Avastha, it is not like that. In the Jagrata Avastha, the mind, identified with the mind, the Atma loses as though loses the status of Sakshi because of the Abhimana. Atma never loses as though. So, therefore, Swapna Avastha helps us to understand that mind is also an object. Mind is also an object. So, therefore, mind being an object, therefore, Sakshi Chaitanyam is Agam Atma Sakshi Chaitanyam, free from the mind, free from the Indriya, free from the Shariram. So, Agam Brahma, Shukram Brahma, I am free from all the impurities. Impurity means this Abhimana is the impurity. So, Agam Sakshi Brahma, it is Shuddham, ever Shuddham. Always it is Shuddha. So that is my Swarupa. That is my Swarupa. These states cannot touch me. I continue to be the same. It is not that Atma is Shukram Brahma only in the Swapna Avastha. It is in all the Avastha. The mind, the Swapna Avastha, it is clearly recognized. Therefore, Agam Atma Brahma Shukram. Agam Atma Tateva Brahma Amrutam Shukram iti uchyate. So on that Sakshi Atma alone, all these lokas, Sarve Lokaha, Ashritaha, they are dependent. They have Ashraya. So Atma is the Adhishtanam on which all these lokas are dependent. So they depend on Atma. They depend on Atma for its existence. The world depends on me. The world depends on me for gaining its existence. And having gained existence, that itself becomes a bondage for me because of my wrong abhimana. So, therefore, the prapancha doesn't have existence, separate existence, doesn't have existence apart from me. It has existence borrowed from me. Therefore, they are nitya. I, the Brahma, adhishtanam of this prapancha. I, the Brahma, is the adhishtanam on which all this prapancha depends. So, if all the prapancha depends on me. Therefore, aham Brahma Shukram. Therefore, this Jagat being Mithya, therefore there is no bhaya, there is no the fear of being incomplete, there is no fear of being insecure, because Aham Shukram Brahma Amritam. Therefore, I am not afraid. Aham Amritam. I don't have Maranam. Then who comes and goes? Not me. This body, mind, senses, they come and go. But Aham Amritam, I always continue to be. Aham Amritam, I don't have Maranam. Atma being a Sakshi doesn't have Maranam. It continues to be. Therefore, there is no fear, there is no Bhaya, because there is no Dvaitam. This Sharira Mana Sangata, this being Nitya. Therefore, Nitya Darshanat, Agam Advaya Atma, Shukram Brahma Atma, Amritam. Therefore, there is oneness with the Brahma. Agam Atma, this Atma, Sakshi Atma, which is recognized in the Sushupti, Swapnavastha very clearly, that Atma, which is the Adhishtanam for all the states of experience, all the Prapancha, that is Brahma. And that Brahma is Amritam. Therefore, Atma is Amritam. Brahma is Shukram. Therefore, Atma is Shukram. It is ever pure. Therefore, Tat na atyeti kashchana. Therefore, nothing exists apart from Brahma. Nothing goes beyond Brahma. It means nothing can transgress Brahma. It means nothing exists apart from Brahma. Nothing exists apart from me. There's nothing outside of me. Everything is swallowed in me, is included in me. Everything depends on me for its existence. Therefore, Aham Atma, this Brahmatma is the adhishtanam of this entire prapancha. Whether it is Tula prapancha, or Sukshma prapancha, or Karana prapancha, they all depend on this Brahma, the Atma, which is me. Etad Vaitat, that Etat Vaitat, that Atma is Brahma. In Nachiketa, this is what you ask. This is the truth of Atma Iti. Now we will read the Bhashyam. Yaha Yeshaha Sukteshu
यः एषः सुप्तेषु
Pranadishu
प्राणादिषु
Jagarti na Swapiti
जागर्ति
न
न
स्वपिति
Yeshaha Purushaha it means it's Atma Sakshi Chaitanyam. Yeshaha Purushaha Sukteshu Pranadishu. Prana also. Indriya, Prana, mind, they are all Suptaha. So Supteshu Pranadishu. Vashyakara says Pranadishu Jagarti. Pranadishu Jagarti. So Jagarti is Sakshi Chaitanyam, this Purusha. This Purusha is Jagarti, na Swapiti. This Purusha is awake. This Purusha is na Swapiti. Doesn't na Swapiti. Yeshaha Jagarti, na Swapiti doesn't sleep. Okay, 1 minute. एषः सुप्तेषु प्राणादिषु जागर्ति न स्वपिति. Okay. When all the sense organs are sleeping, Atma is awake. So pranadishu supteshu Atma jagarti na supiti. Atma doesn't sleep. So Atma doesn't become unconscious. It doesn't gain the status of unconsciousness. The swarupam is consciousness. So when all the organs are sleeping, so therefore here pranadishu, you can take it as prana. How can prana be sleeping? That's what I was saying. Pranadishu, we have to take, prana means not literally this prana, pana. When the breathing stops, what will happen? When the breathing stops, the person is dead. So, pranadishu supteshu means breathing, when the prana, apana, pancha prana, they are asleep. It means the person is gone. It is dead. It is maranavastha. It is not sushupti avastha. So, we have to take the pranadishu means gauna prana, not mukhya prana. So we have to take the prana to be gauna prana. Gauna prana means this indriyani, the organs of perception, this jnanendriyani and organs of action, karmendriyani. These do not function. These are put to sleep. These are sleep. So pranadishu satsu. Vashikara uses sutteshu pranadishu. So pranadishu means the indriyas you have to take. Pranadishu. Gauna prana only we have to take. When the indriyas are sleeping, Atma is jagarti, na supiti, doesn't go to sleep. Katham, next, continuing. Katham, can repeat.
Katham
Kamam, kamam,
Kamam
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 tamabipretam,
tam
tam
tamabipretam
vipretam
stridhyartam avidyaya,
shadyartam
Yatam
avidya
avidyaya
stryadyartam avidya, stri, then stri is woman. So stri adyartam avidyaya. Nirmimanaha
nirmimanaha
nishpadayan
nishpadayan
jagarti
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 purushaha
purushaha
yaha
yaha
tadeva shukram
tadeva
deva
shukram
shukram
shubram shuddham
shubram
puram shuddham
tad brahma
tad brahma
brahma
na
tadeva
anyat
shukram
guhyam brahma asti.
na
anyat
anyat brahma
brahma
asti.
asti.
Katham, how does, katham means how does jagarti na supiti, how does the atma remains jagarti, remains awake, na supiti, that is the meaning of katham. Katham jagarti, how atma is awake? When all the indriyas are asleep, atma is awake. How? That is kamam nirvimanaha. That is by projecting the dream world, by projecting the, here it talks about the swapnavastha. So atma is awake. Atma is awake. Nirvimanaha, projecting various objects of, or objects in the swapna prapancha, nirvimanaha, it is awake. Atma, it is it is in the presence of atma, the chitta, the mind is activated and therefore project the swapna prapancha with the form of various objects. So it is illumined by atma. So that is said. So kamam tam abhipretam. So various desired objects. Tam abhipretam. Abhipretam tam kamam. Kamam means various objects. The objects which are desired. Tam kamam tam abhipretam. That is desired. Abhipretam. So, Stri adyartham avidya. That is by the avidya shakti. By the avidya shakti. Avidya. Stri adyartham, like woman, etc. Stri adi artham. Stri adyartham. Stri, etc. Stri means stri. Woman, men can include all the child, everything. All the object you can include avidya by the avidya shakti, nirvimanaha, nishpadagan, producing, projecting. So this avidya is there in the nidra, in the sleep, and that because of which the dream world is projected. The dream world is projected. So nirvimanaha, atma projects. It means atma is not the agent. It doesn't project. It's not agent of projecting. Atma doesn't really project. That is the presence of atma, the mind projects. If atma is projected, then what will happen? Then atma will undergo change. Atma doesn't project. Sannidhi matrena. That's the presence of atma. The presence of atma, the mind project the swapna prapancha. Therefore, it is figuratively presented as though atma purushaha, yeshaha purushaha, kamam, dibimanaha. Are not atma. Atma cannot project. So it is atma illumines the object. Atma illumines the object which are projected by the mind, and that is called nirvimanaha. Nishpadayan, projecting. Atma remains awake, jagarti. Nirvimanaha, project, illuminating the projection, illuminating the projection of the mind. So atma doesn't project. It is the mind which projects, and atma illumines the projected world. So therefore, atma jagrati remains awake even when the dream world is projected by the mind. Atma awake and illumines the world. So therefore, nirmimanaha nishpadayan jagarti purushaha. Avidyaya nirmimanaha. This projection because of the avidya. Avidyaya, this various objects, stri, adi, artham, all these things, avidyaya, because of avidya. Nirmimanaha nishpadayan jagarti purushaha. Projecting all these various objects, purusha remains awake. But mind projecting all these objects in the presence of atma remains awake. So purushaha, yaha purushaha tat eva shukram brahma. You have to connect. Yaha, the beginning. Yaha purushaha tat shukram. Tat shukram brahma. Shukram is equal to shubram. Shukram means white. White means it is shukram, shubram, shuddham means shuddham. It is white. Shukram is equal to shubram, that is white, and that is equal to shuddham, pure. So that atma, that brahma, which is pure, it means it is not touched by any states of experience. It is not the experiencer. Experiences all possible because of this atma. Therefore, it is shuddham. Tad brahma na anyat gugyam brahma asti. There is nothing other than that brahma. There is only is this sakshi chaitanyam brahma, which is shuddham alone. It is. There is nothing other than that. Nothing exists apart from that. Everything has against existence because of this, and this is free. It is free, and therefore nothing exists or excels this brahma. So this brahma eva asti, and nothing other than this Another Brahma is not there. Another Chaitanyam, another Sakshi is not there. This is the Sakshi, Shukram, Brahma, it exists. So, Tat Brahma na anyate. That Sakshi alone is Brahma, not otherwise. So, that alone exists. Then, Tad eva amritam. The next line. Tadeva amritam.
Tadeva amritam
Vinashi.
avinashi
Uchyate sarvashastreshu.
uchyate sarvashastreshu
Tat eva Brahma, tat sakshi, sakshi atma, that sakshi chaitanyam, tat amritam. It is amritam is avinashi, doesn't undergo change, doesn't get destroyed. So doesn't undergo any form of destruction. Avinashi. It is therefore it is immortal. Uchyate sarvashastreshu. It is said in all the shastra, all the Veda, all the Purana, Smriti, in all the Shastram, this Atma is Vinashi iti Uchyate. This Atma is Amritam, Namritam Amritam. It is not subject to death. It is not subject to time. Time cannot limit. Space cannot limit. The objects cannot limit. Therefore, Deshakala Vastu Aparichinnaha, this Atma, this Chaitanya, this Chaitanyam, therefore it is Amritaha. Amritaha, therefore it is Moksha Swarupaha. It is ever free. It is Mukta Swarupaha. It is Moksha Swarupaha. It can never become bound. Therefore it is Amrita. There is no destruction, there is no Maranam, and doesn't have any bondage. So Atma doesn't have any bondage. When Atma doesn't have bondage, then what is moksha for Atma? Moksha is siddha. So then what is this bondage and moksha? Only when the wrong notion is there, Atma is bound, then only moksha is. Atma itself is not bound. And where is moksha? Atma can never be bound. That bondage is notional. That notional bondage only has to go by jnana. That is why Shastram, that is why the teaching. So the notional bondage, for the notional bond, the bondage being notional, therefore one has to be free from the notion. How to be free from the notion? Only by jnana. Only by jnana. That alone removes this notional knowledge, wrong knowledge. So therefore Atma is Amritaha, it is Muktaha, that is its Swarupa. Therefore, Amritam iti Sarvashastreshu Uchyate. Atma is always it is. It doesn't come and doesn't go. It continues to be in its Swarupa as it is forever. Therefore, Amritam iti Uchyate. Na Amritam, Amritam. The next line, we will see that in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidham Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
धन्यवाद जी.
धन्यवाद.
Just one question, Ji.
Yes.
Why it is said twice kamam kamam? Is there any meaning for that?
Various objects are there. Therefore, kamam kam. Deepsa
Okay.
is only to show the objects are many, variegated, different. Therefore, kamam kamam. One kama means it is one object. Whether there are the dream bird, Many desired objects are projected, and many desires are there. Therefore, the various dreams are there. Many objects are projected. Therefore, kamam.
Okay, to stress that. Okay.
Yes, the variegation to say that kamam.
Okay. Dhanyawad.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Kama is kamyate iti kamaha, the desire. So various desires. Therefore, kamam. Tam abhipretam. Abhipretam is desiring that. Please mute your mic. Kama is the desire, the objects of desire. Other kama is a desire for the object. So kamam.
Okay.
Desire
Okay.
for the desired objects. So that's what Bhashyakara says. Tam abhipretam. Tam referring to the kama, the object of desire. Tam abhipretam, the desire for the desired object. What are they? Stri adyaha. That is a typo. Okay. Kyadyartha is that. I don't know whether you saw that. I said Stri adyartham avidyaya.
Yeah, I'm following the book. I didn't.
Okay.
Okay.
I use this intentionally. As I told you before, this I use intentionally so that you can see the mistakes. You can see read also properly. That is why I use this. Purposefully I use.
Okay.
Stri adyartham. So sometimes this sandhi splitting and all, it's difficult here. That's why I use this. Intentionally I use. Okay. Okay, we can. Stop
Okay.
here.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.